Today I'm going to tie Doug's new Soft Hackle Streamer, better known as the Scorpion Soft Hackle Streamer. He developed this year before last. We caught a lot of fish on him, and year before last we caught a lot of fish, and this year we caught a lot of fish. These are made out of the soft hackle feathers like we sell on our website. Now, I always take for the tail a feather that has a little bit of a curve to it. And in a little bit, you'll see why we call it the Scorpion Streamer. Okay, now I'm going to build up a little bit of thread in front of where I tie this in to help hold it up. I'm right above the barb. I'm going to tie this in now, and I'm not going to trim off this fuzz at the bottom. Just tie it in and tie it against that place where I built up the thread to try to get it where it's holding it up. And then I'm going to bring the thread behind it and tie it down. That'll help hold it up. I'm going to do a couple half hitches there. I'm not worried about all that feather sticking out. And now I'm going to take my needle and excuse me, and put a little bit of glue right behind that feather. Push it forward a little bit and just throw some glue in there. Super glue, crazy glue, whichever you use. Okay, and then I'm going to let that dry a minute. And because I don't think there's enough of that feather left to wrap it on the hook really, I'm going to go ahead and just make a few wraps with my thread to tie that down. I'm not trying to tie down the fuzzy part of the feather, I'm just tying down the stem. And when I get done, you'll understand why I'm not worried about that fuzzy part of the feathers. Okay, now I'm going to add just a little bit of orange soft hackle, and I'm going to tie that in. I'm just going to double it over and tie it right in next to the tail. Then I'm going to just kind of bend that up, the bottom of it up, and tie that in. Okay, there's a little bit of stem there I'm going to trim out. And again, I'm going to do a couple half hitches. Okay, now the rest of the feather, or the rest of the fly, I'm going to just tie in some more feathers, but I'm going to wrap those on the shank of the hook. And these are all same color, same type of feathers, excepting more from the back of the patch where it's a little softer hackle. Okay, I'm going to tie that one down good. Make a couple half hitches. Bring my thread forward a ways. I'm not going to take it clear to the eye because this feather won't wrap that far. I'm going to go ahead and just pretty much wrap it side by side. I use my fingers rather than a hackle plier because I always break the ends of the feather off. It seems like when I use a hackle plier. Okay, now I bring it that far. I'm going to tie that down, and then I'm going to bend this back and tie that down also, rather than cutting it off. That just gives the fly a little bit more action. Okay, now I pull it apart a little bit so it's not just a stub sticking up there. I'm going to bring my thread out of the way, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue there. Glue that down a little bit. And I've got to let that glue dry a minute, and I'm going to get my next feather ready. Trim off the heavy part of the stem, and I'm ready to tie it in. I can tie it right on top of that glue, and that'll help hold it in, as well as tie it down good with the thread. Now bring my thread forward a little ways, and again I'm going to wrap this forward. It probably won't go all the way to the black bead, so I will just wrap it until I have to tie some more in. Try to wrap it side by side. Whoop, I let go of it. I'm almost going to have enough to go to the bead. I think we will. Sometimes you have to use 3 feathers, sometimes 2's plenty. So I think 2 we can make work there on that one. Okay, and then I'm going to bend that little bit back a little ways and tie that down good. I'm going to take my Velcro brush and fluff this all out a little bit. So all of that gives the fly a lot of action. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie it off good. I like to use 2 or 3 good whip finishes. Cut my thread. Now I'm going to put some glue on. Again, I'm going to use my brush. Hold this back so I don't get any of the glue on the soft hackle, mess it up. And that is our scorpion nymph. Now, because of the way it curls, it looks almost like a scorpion tail. So that's where it got its name. Now, if this all needs to be fluffed out a little bit, again, use a Velcro brush. We make our Velcro brush with a tongue depressor and glue a little bit of Velcro on it. Now, we tie this fly also for what we call a soft hackle shrimp, scorpion shrimp, which you can see there. We also tie it, a little one, a little nymph, our scorpion nymph. They work great. We've had such an awesome turnout with them. Fish, fish, fish. Great fish. Give it a try.